welcome to Reshmi first. And You are listening to Empowered Women series. This is where we talk to inspiring women like Reshmi so that aspiring women leaders can listen to it and they can see what a career can be. Because if you can see it, you can do it. So, hi, Reshmi. So nice to have you here today.
Thank you, Purnima, for having me over and interviewing me. I mean, it's great to be here and interviewed by you because I have actually seen your previous interviews and they're quite interesting. So it feels a little nice to be on the other side. So
Right? Yeah. And it's so let's start with who's Reshmi? Like, what's it about Reshmi? What's her deal?
I think Reshmi is your girl next door who just wants to maybe make an impact and change the perspective you already have.
That's beautiful. Tell me more about your background, you as a person, and any feel free to include anything that you want to tell us about you. And by the way, formal introduction of Reshmi is she heads marketing at Suta, and it's one of the fabulous brands in India. They produce organic fashion, which is it's you just need to see their Instagram to know what I'm talking about. And they are able to make good money for a good brand while doing good for the world, and that's why I love them. And she is the one who heads their marketing. And that's her formal introduction. And now Reshmi is going to tell us about her other introduction.
So a little about me. I come from a management background. I did my undergrad and my postgrad in management studies. I always loved marketing. I don't know, in college, in school also, surprisingly, and so did my masters in marketing. Uh, all this while, there's a story to my how why I my mom figured I love marketing in school. I'll come to that later. Before that, so after my marketing and my masters, I started working for an advertising firm called Densu Aegis Media. Worked there for 2 years. Got an award for the youngest client servicing person by the South Asia head of Densu. Everything was going great, but I didn't feel great. So I know I was doing great at work, but there's something that eats you up. So, and that's not me. I don't work just for recognition. I work because I love to do justice to what I'm being paid for and what I'm being asked for. But there's something beyond is what I feel, where I put my heart. Right. That's where your passion and your work comes together. So I left after 2 years, and my boss happened to ask why. I mean, we've given you, you're the youngest. We've given you the award, the recognition. Why? My answer to that was only one thing, that it. I didn't feel it. I don't know how I can explain this emotion, but I'm sure a lot of people can relate to it. That when you're not at the right place, you just know it. It's your intuition talking to you. You're doing like fabulous, but there's something that's missing. There's this piece that's missing in your puzzle. uh, I felt the same. I was 22 then. um, I took up marketing and public relations. I joined a boutique company and it was fabulous. My boss, I used to report to her. And when I came there, so for me, PR and advertising are like two different worlds. For advertising, you just pay money, you say, I need an article, and they will give you, the publications will give you. They're like, okay, this is the code, tell your client, you're done, right? When I came to PR, I said, so my boss happened to say that, we need to feature this restaurant. So I used to I have managed close to 20 restaurants. So my first restaurant is this place called Bar Stock Exchange. It's very famous in Mumbai. Um, so she said we have to get them on Scoop, which is very nice. I said, sure. I know the rates of Scoop. I know the person there. It's 1.5 lakhs INR, right? So we'll pay up. She's like, Reshmi, that's not why you're here for. We shouldn't pay, we cannot pay, and you have to get your client there. I said, that's preposterous. Who does that? She like, that's what you're supposed to do, and that's what we all do here. It took me a day to realize what I have come for. What am I doing? I literally looked at my boss and I'm like, I don't know why you've hired me. I don't know why I'm here. She's like, you're at the right place. You just need to do the right thing. She trained me and everything. I don't know how. I think since then there's no looking back, because she also helped me, I mean, understand me and brief me. And I've spoken to journalists, got my clients on Forbes, Fortune, everywhere. And it's been 2.5 years again over there. Great journey, did marketing, PR for restaurant clients. Post that, I think it's very funny because my boss came to me and said, Reshmi, is this what you want to do 2 years down the line? Don't think about the 5 years. Do you want to do only PR and a little bit of marketing all your life? Uh, I said, no, I want to grow. She's like, then it's time for you to move on. I said, are you firing me? She's like, no, I know you and I care for you and I think you can explore much more. I said, yeah, I think so too. Then I happened to ping Sujata Tanya on Instagram saying, hey, and I have this very weird habit. I still do. They have curbed it a lot. I check Insta. We all go on Instagram just to see what others are doing in life. I go to see what brands are doing, okay, and how well, what is the strategy, etc. I don't know why I get work into my personal life, but that's me. So I keep telling people that, hey, you know what? I think there's a typo here. I think you can quickly change it, and people do that. And I go and say, so I have this habit of WhatsApping brands. I've gone to all food brands and told them that, hey, you know what? This offer you're doing, I am sorry, I'm coming and giving you my unrequisite advice, but I think you can add, instead of 10%, do 15 and see. I'm like, I'm just a follower, right? I'll just have to see. If they take it, they take it. And people have actually done it and they've replied saying, hey, Reshmi, we did it and thanks for your advice, we got sales. And this happened with 5 other brands. I wouldn't like to take the names because whatever. And very good known brands. So I'm like, why not? And I happen to even tell Sujata Tanya that I think you'll need a PR person and a marketing person. And this is not a job pitch or a marketing pitch, but you'll are not concentrating, and I think you'll have potential. They were like, this is obnoxious, right? Which follower says that on Instagram? But I'm like, so I think that was a phase when I was moving on, and I told them I'm anyway looking out. Give me a chance for 6 months. Doesn't work out, right? I will move on. You also tried me, and we move on. The trial period is over. Okay. I said, okay, fine. They met me. They took my interview. They're like, okay, fine. First 3-4 months, I'm like, guys, you're not doing this, that. It was so much. They were like, Sujata, and I think for an extent, they went like, oh God, who is this person who's come? Whom have we hired? But I'm joking, of course. So I think since then, it's been 2 years now. There's no looking back. I have a team now. We started with performance marketing, and honestly, on a personal level, I started concentrating on marketing, which is my core, rather than just PR, which is, your performance marketing strategies, analyzing things, your Google analysis. So it's been a beautiful journey till now. And fashion and e-commerce is something I thought I'll never do. I'm a foodie by heart. You'll tell me which restaurant, what, where, I can tell you. I'll Google it out. Fashion was something everybody other than my mom and me was shocked when I went into. When I told people I got a job in Suta, people are like, you got a job in Suta? I mean, what will you do? I was like, Mark, I don't know. That's why the trial period, right? I don't know. But I think it's been a great journey.
That's one of the very important things. Like, most of us don't know, like, at least at in early 20s, a lot of us don't know what is it that we want to do. and there is a lot of confusion. And instead of taking steps around that confusion and figuring out as you go on, I have seen a lot of people freeze, like, because I don't know what is. A common thought would have been that, because I don't know what is it that I can do at Sutta, how can I ask them, especially women? How can I
Yeah.
ask them? What do I tell them? What is it that I want to do? So what gave you this kind of confidence? Like, where does confidence ratio come from?
Um, I believe so. When I was switching from advertising, also I have an elder sister. She heads digital marketing at Idea Cellular, the service network service company. Uh, she also told me, like, it was she has never put in a word for me, okay, ever, because that's the first rule we both as sisters said. I will not promote her, she will not promote me, be it anything. We will do it as per individually and as per our own grit and determination, and not promote and push each other, because we believe in ourselves. Okay. So when I was moving from advertising, my sister was also of the thought that, you're moving industries, like from advertising you're moving to marketing and PR. It's a huge switch. What if you fall? Um and I had this thought, of course. What I really took some time, and I thought that if not now, then when? I don't want to be a 30-year-old in an advertising agency or some brand thinking I should have, I could have. Why didn't I? I'm 21, I'm 22. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. I'll come back. I don't know, I'll figure my life, but I do not want any regrets at 30 or 35 for that matter, saying, why am I here? I should have done it at 21 because my salary was low, it was early, people would have understood. And at 30, 31, people are like, oh my God, are you switching, your industries? Now what about my job? I have responsibilities, and all those factors come into picture. I'm 22, 21. If I don't take risks now, when will I take them? And then came the story of Suta. I was 24, because it's 2 years now. Uh, my sister still asked me, "You're moving into fashion, e-commerce, where you don't have much of an expertise." I said, "But I have expertise in PR, in marketing." Uh, I asked my boss too, Sujata Tanya. They're like, "Reshmi, you realize why we started this firm? You realize none of us, both of us, aren't from a fashion background. We are from a B school. We have a business mind, and we know certain things. We all learn on our way up the ladder. If we knew everything, if we were top of everything, we would have been somewhere else. We wouldn't have started Suta, right?" And that gave me confidence. I thought the same thing. I'm like, if not now, then what? I'm like, they even asked me, if after 6 months, if we part ways, then what will you do? I said, that's a nice question. I think I'll figure something out before I move out. I have no plans. I have nothing to fall back on. And I said, I'll figure life out. And, so I also have certain responsibilities at home, which, due to which I can't just stay out of work. I said, I'll do some freelance work. I don't know what, but I know I will do it. I have to do it. So I'm doing it.
That's that's such a beautiful way of thinking. And I want to remind you, there is nothing wrong in taking help from your sister or helping your sister to promote each other's career. Just as a footnote, you can do
Yeah,
what
yeah,
you
yeah.
want, but
Of course.
yeah, there is, you don't, nobody needs to make their, because we live in a very complicated world, and none of us can make it, however talented we are. We can't really grow into our real potential if we don't take help from others. And
Absolutely. Absolutely.
family,
Absolutely.
family owes it to us.
Absolutely. But my point was, if she starts helping me now, then I'll always fall back on her.
Yeah,
Knowing myself, I'll be like, huh, okay, my sister will help me. Yeah, she helped me once, she'll help me twice. Then I'll do the emotional drama. I'll be like, help me thrice. before she disowns me. So let me keep her as this last resort.
And also, it's a different thing to be influenced by someone else and different thing to take advice and then figure out your own thing, which is what you did. And I love your way of thinking on that. And let's go to marketing. Let's talk about marketing. Something that really excites both of us. What
oh,
is it about marketing that you love?
so I'll, like I said, I'll come back to that story of my childhood story, right? So in school, so I was in a convent school. Um, so we had for 3 years, which is your eighth standard, ninth standard, and 10th standard. We had this subject called needlework. Okay, that's what it was called. You so what we had to do was our teacher very clearly told us, listen, you all will have to get married someday, if not with each other. I didn't know what she meant then, but now I do. So you all have to learn stitching. Your husbands may or may not know, but at least if you all have zero work, you all have no talent, at least this needlework will help you all. We thought, okay, she's being stupid because you all thought our teachers were stupid. So what she told us very clearly was, I think there was a little communication gap. She told us get a 10 by 10 lemon yellow cloth. Okay, because every year we change the cloth. Okay, where you can do your needlework. I'll teach you different stitches. She said 10 by 10. We all were like, okay, and all that. So I went and told my daddy that, daddy, we need a 10 by 10 cloth. Yellow color, lemon yellow. Daddy said, okay. My dad, being my dad, he went and got a 10 by 10 inches.
Feet, you mean?
Sorry?
You mean feet, 10 by 10 feet or 10 by
No, no,
10?
no, inches. Inches instead of centimeter.
Oh, okay. She wanted this. He got
She
this.
wanted this small. He got me like a blanket.
So that's 10 by 10 feet.
Yeah. Sorry. Sorry, yes, 10 by 10 feet. Oh my god, sorry. That was just a daft moment. We can cut this anyway.
I love it.
So yeah, so there was 10 by 10 feet. I also didn't know, right? Like right now, I was a little worse than this. I was like, okay, this is what my teacher wants me to do. I went. I said, ma'am, I got it. And me being, I was the prefect of the school and all. I was like, oh, I have to be responsible. I have prefect and all. I have the sash. So I was like, yeah. I went first and I'm like, ma'am, this is what you had asked for. I am the first one to get it. Just, I don't know why I did that. So ma'am was like, oh, this is beautiful. This is exactly what I wanted. But Reshmi, I wanted 10 by 10 centimeter, which is just small, your handkerchief ka size. And I was like, now what to do? Now, if I go back to dad, dad will yell at me saying, you gave me the wrong brief, you this, you that. I was scared. I was thinking what to do. And I asked everyone, you all didn't get, you all didn't get. Nobody gave a damn, I think, that back then, that we don't care. Like, teacher was also very chill. She was like, you all do it. If you get it, I will teach you. If you don't get it, you are at loss. So me being the, I don't know, super good student and whatever, I did it. So I was asking everyone, you all didn't do it, and everyone, and nobody did it. Nobody bought the cloth. What I did, my mom still makes fun of me about this. I told my teacher that, ma'am, can you announce it to the class? So we had 4 divisions, 8 A, B, C, D, and each division had 60 students. And all divisions had to do the same thing. Okay. And this was this one teacher who used to go to every division different days and teach the needlework subject. I told her, ma'am, can you do one thing? Can you take this cloth and tell everybody in the class? And I said it very sweetly and nicely that, this is exactly as per your brief. This is exactly what you want. Only the size needs to be small. She's like, okay. She said, silly request, I'll do it. She did it. And then I told, after she left, then after she left, I told everyone, guys, I have this big cloth. I'm going to cut it into, as per what ma'am said, the sizes, 10 by 10 centimeter. I'll have the remaining cloth left. I'm going to sell it to you guys at 10 rupees each. Tell me how many of y'all are up for it. So almost the entire class was like, yeah, now who will go and tell their dad and mom? And the teacher was very finicky about the color. She like, it needs to be this lemon yellow, this lemon yellow. And another girl came and told me, so listen, you give me your cloth, I'll go and I'll ask around. I was like, oh, this is like a competition now. But I still gave her. I said, okay, if you find it, you tell me. But I sold it for 10 rupees each cloth. And I had to bring more cloth because everybody came to me from different divisions. The entire school came to me saying, Reshmi, can you cut it and give it to us in the exact size? I'll tell you the crux of this is that big 10 by 10 seat that my dad bought, that cloth was for 10 rupees. I sold almost, I think 10 parts came into that. I sold each for 10 rupees. So I made I made almost 5 to 10 times the profit. And I think for 2 years, I was the only supplier for everyone supplying that. That's that's when my mom was like, this is marketing, this is sales, you need to do this. That's when I realized also, when my mom kept saying, I'm like, yeah, I can do maybe. And then again in colleges, getting sponsorship, intercollegiate events, national level events. So in my management also, you have to represent your college at IITB national level. We have national level debate and we had national level presentation. So you had to present and all and say things. So we had this subject called Bhagavad Gita in management. Bhagavad Gita and management is a subject we had, which is also from uh, Howard's books that apparently. So we represented Bhagavad Gita and management in national level. It was two of us, me and another girl. And we won IITB there, IITB Fest. So we won there. And that's when I got the confidence that, yes, I can do this. Uh, Also, the confidence, why the confidence when you say, I don't know. I just know what I'm speaking is speaking. And if I'm corrected, then I'm okay with it. If you tell me right now also that Reshmi, this, like you said, it's 10 by 10 feet and not inches, I'll be like, oh God. But I'll be okay. I'll be okay. You can correct me, right? Because I know for a fact I'm not perfect. And I know for a fact there's a lot left to learn. So if you correct me anytime, I'm okay with it. But there's a difference between correcting and, bringing someone down, which I understand. So that's when I stop people that I'm saying, if you're correcting me and educating me, I'm okay. But if you're trying to pull me down and, I don't know, disrespect me in any way, I'm not okay. So there's a clear cut thing that I give to everyone.
I, and now because we talked about it for for last 5 minutes, we got to the bottom of it for where does Reshmi's uh, where does Reshmi's confidence come from? I can tell you quickly where it comes from. It comes from your willingness to fail, your willingness to be wrong, and your acceptance that we're not supposed to know everything. We are not supposed to be right at everything, but
Correct.
and if someone tells us something, it's only a chance to improve. It's not, and obviously, with experience, understanding the intention. Some people are just saying it to pull you down, which is bad. You have to give it back.
Yeah.
And most of the time, it's just an opportunity to learn and be better. And I think, because you have that self awareness that you know what you know, and you don't know what you don't know, and you are ready to learn and be better at everything. So thank
Exactly.
you,
Exactly.
thank you for sharing that. And my intention, because I knew that there was a long story coming up, I wanted to get the fact right, that now you can imagine, if you said 10 inches by 10 inches, you can't really divide it and sell it to people. So I wanted to get your facts right so that our story sounds perfect.
Yes, exactly. So also, I was actually a lot of my confidence and this eagerness to learn goes to my ex boss. Reason being, when I was in Dentsu, because it was a big firm, okay, and coming out of college, and everyone over there were experienced rather than me. I was someone who came with 6 months of internship experience, and I joined a big firm. So I was all new to everything. And I was like, you didn't know this, you don't know this. You know how people have this typical way of saying it. Oh my god, you don't know this. Oh my god, how can you not know this? I'm like, and I used to feel like, oh god, I don't know this. How can I not know this? I felt there was not a there was not one day when I felt like I know something or anything. I was always this shut up person. This this wasn't the Reshmi back then. Then when I moved to PR and I switched from advertising and I moved to PR and marketing, uh, I had to face a lot of people. PR, fortunately or unfortunately, puts you in front of people, like pushes you in front of people. Like you have to meet people, you have to be nice, you have to be patient, but you have to know when to stop. I didn't know, honestly. Uh, and meeting 15, 20 people a day, having shallow conversations wasn't me, but I had to do it. So meeting people also builds the confidence, right? And I asked my boss that I'm not confident enough to meet these people, and these people were owners and high end people, you know, who have like big businesses, big people, accomplished a lot in life, uh, from top B schools, and I'm like I'm just a graduate, I'm just a postgraduate, nothing else. Uh, so my boss was like, that doesn't make you anything less. Rishmi, you are who you are, and you are what you are. I said, but what if someone mistreats me? Because that happened once, twice. People just yelled. There was this founder who just, restaurant owner, who just yelled. On top of his voice, he just yelled. Uh, and not for something I instigated him. I just asked him for something and he was not in a good mood. So he just yelled. I went back to my boss and I said, he yelled. And I'm feeling, and she's like, and how are you feeling about it? I said, I'm feeling terrible. How can someone yell at me? And I called her AK, which is Akansha. I'm like, Akansha, how can someone yell at me? It is not okay, Akansha. Can you just go and tell him something? She like, you want me to go and tell him? I said, yeah, you are the founder. How can you not tell him? She like, I won't tell him. You took it, you took his shit, so you better go and give it back. I said, what do you want me to say? She like, what you would say. I said, no, he will just leave us. He'll just leave the account. Like, he paid us pretty good sum every month. What if he leaves? What if he says, I don't want to work with you all, I don't like Reshmi's behavior? She like, I'm okay with it. I'm okay to let go a client, but I'm not okay my she calls us her kids. She like, I'm not okay my kids being mistreated. And I want you to speak up for yourself because nobody else will. And I won't. I felt I hated her for that moment. I said, how? And hate is, I know, a strong word, but I did for that moment. I said, how could you say that? How? And I was like, with so much anger. She like, don't show this to me. Show this to him who insulted and disrespected. I gathered my courage. I picked up the phone and I said, I know you yelled at me, but that's the first and the last time you're doing it. Because now on, if you do it, I will file a police complaint. Because this is downright disrespectful and this is mistreatment and I will not accept it. And I hung up and I started laughing. She came from behind, she started laughing. She like, now is when you will start speaking up and you will continue doing it. And I did. And that gave me a lot of confidence and I had to shut people up. The client didn't go. Fortunately, he called my boss and he said, who is this girl? Why is she a brat? Um, so my boss said, all my girls are brat only like me. What to do? We are a bunch of bratty women over here. You can choose to leave though. He's like, no. I respect the fact that she spoke, that she did come to me and speak to me. And she said, what she felt like rather than just, saying yes, boss. So I'm like, okay. That day, I think from that day, things just changed. And my boss didn't leave us then. she she I was, because of my previous job, as someone whatever she used to say, I'd be like, yeah, okay, we'll do it. Yeah, okay, I'll do it. Even if I couldn't, I wouldn't. I'd be like, yeah, yeah, okay. She literally, I know, censor these words if you can. She said, Reshmi, have the balls to speak up. If you don't like me, come to me and tell me you do not like it, you do not want to do it, you can't do it. Don't be a yes boss, because I will not respect you. And it's not about me respecting you, you will lose your self respect. So, what is more worth it? I was like, who does that, right? Who even says that to anyone? Let alone your employees. Who says that to anyone? And I was like, okay. And whenever I didn't like anything, I used to just sit and I used to be like, I'm not talking to her, I'm ignoring her. I'm like, she's like, Reshmi, did you do this? Why the hell are you sitting like this? She should talk like that. I'm like, I'll do it. She's like, yeah, because other than, yeah, I'll do it, there's nothing else you can say, right? Because you can't speak up, of course. Grow a spine someday and come and talk to me. And I think she did that to my head, to my psychology. She did that and it worked. Until date, it works. It does. So anyone speaks to me anything like that, she like, you don't have to be rude. You just have to be a little firm. So you can say she literally molded me. So I'm very grateful. Like I had to leave her and everything, but I think she always has this place in my heart where there's immense respect for her, because she literally turned things around for me. She, whatever PR marketing I think I do, I really give her the credit.
And the most importantly, your confidence. I It is so important to have, that's one of the main points of Empowered Women series, which is we don't find women bosses, coaches, mentors so easily. You found one, and she could tell you exactly the things to change about you, and that changed your entire career trajectory.
Very, very true. Like I think now that I am at that place where I have people under me, it's difficult to train and to mentor people. It's one thing to train. Like I can tell you, this is not how it's to be done. This is to be done XYZ. But to mentor someone, it takes a lot of effort. And she took that effort, because she being the boss, she being the founder of a company, and you know how service industry is, right? You this place of yours is like, it's a spiritual place. This brain, you can't let anything enter that place. You cannot let anything enter that place. She did that. I don't know how she mentored me and a couple of us. She did that. That's why I have immense respect for her. I mean, I don't speak to her quite often, it's just on and off. But being in the service industry where you're every day you're challenged, every day you're asked for your worth, like what is happening, is this done, is that done, is that done, is that done? And you don't have proof, right? In product industry, that's what I saw, the change in product and service. In product, even if there is even if Sujata Tanya shift and I come and say, hey, this is Suta, I'm wearing a Suta, they'll be like, oh, this is Suta, I love it, XYZ, XYZ. But if I say, hey, for example, if Purnima has some work, I'm like, hey, I'm Purnima, I can do exactly what Purnima does. People will be like, no, okay, we'll try you, but after a week they'll be like, I don't know, like we like how Purnima works, but we don't know how you work. That conflict will always be there. I can give the service that you give. I can give the product that you can give, but not the service. And that's immense.
E-
That's huge.
And just one piece I want to, before we move on, I just want to remind you one thing: stay in touch with Akanksha. Like, make an effort to be in touch with her, and send her like your life updates every, even if you send them like every 3 months or every quarter, just a small message, whether she replies or not, do it.
Yeah.
It's one is that it's nice way to say that I'm thankful to you, and two is she will always be there to mentor you, and there's always something to learn.
Very, very true.
Let's talk about you working at the successful grown up startup. It's been, you told me that you came from a big company and all those things. How is it to work with a startup for last 2 years?
Um, Actually, I've been working for a startup for 4 years now.
Let's talk only about Suta for now. How is it to work at Suta?
um, Actually, Suta, contrary to people's beliefs, I think Suta was made on that foundation that break your stereotypical thinking. You know what I mean is, like I said earlier, Sujata Tanya started Suta without any professional uh, without any professional background about textiles, fashion, etc. Otherwise, you see, no offense to any other brands, but most brands owners have some inclination towards fashion. Either they are from top design B schools, or from either any part of the world, some B school, and they have majored in some fashion, uh, uh, majored from a fashion B school and not from anything else. But there's some fashion in their resume, or some fashion brand they work for, and they liked it, and they were like, okay, I need to start something of my own. I need to start something of my own. So there is some fashion in their resume or in their history. So the Tanya did. They clearly did. I think they learned stitching, like how we discussed in their school. Uh, they did their engineering. Tanya did her ceramic engineering. Their engineers turned into who started their corporate jobs and now an entrepreneur. There's no fashion. So they gave an opportunity to people like me and a lot of us, that here is when we all grow together. Here, we don't expect you to be an expert of everything, but we expect you to learn and grow along with us. And that's beautiful. I don't know how many people can give this opportunity to people that grow with us. Even and they say it very outrightly, that we are not perfect either. There are a lot of things even we don't know, and we learned it because we started this company. So even you will learn it, and you don't need to fret about it, but learn. That's their major point, that you have to learn and you have to grow. And I think it's a big risk also that they're taking, and a big investment, because the risk being, what if I don't learn, and what if I turn things around? I tell them also, what if I screw up? What if I make mistakes? What do you do then? They're like, that's okay, right? Even we make mistakes. We have made mistakes, and that's why you're here. You won't be punished unless it's huge, of course, but unless and until it's reconcilable and you're willing to work on it and grow, you're okay with it. So you don't need to stress about what will happen if I screw up. It's okay to screw up. And I don't know how many people will make this statement saying it's okay to screw up, because when they make that statement, they're putting a lot of things at stake, right? The brand, the name, etc., etc. Because they're like, we are growing now, and we are also at the stage of growth, and we can make mistakes, because that's how we all grow. Because if I say I'm perfect and nothing can be changed, where will growth come then? So, and that is very true, and that's what is helping all of us. Like during lockdown, we did courses on Udemy. We did courses about our respective departments. We learned a lot of things. We teach each other a lot of things. We sometimes go into other departments slowly and work and learn. Like for example, due to festive season, there's a lot of emails and calls that is happening, and it we need more people to help. The client servicing team just said, guys, can we? I mean, we are working. So my team, me and my team and I just saw that the client servicing team is working way too hard. They're logging in at 9 o'clock. They're logging off at 10 p.m. And Sujata was also concerned, Sujata Tanya, saying, this is concerning because, not at the risk of your health that you all can work so hard. So we decided to pitch in, my team and I. We said, you know what, we'll also pitch in. And then later, they also said that, guys, please pitch in. We all, after our working hours, we started replying to emails and calls. So irrespective, you're the head of marketing or you're junior most person, you're the, I don't know, whoever, we just sit and reply to emails without our designations or with saying, we are from Team Suta. This is what we are doing. And we also, I mean, this is also a learning opportunity, right? Because in marketing, this is helping me because I'm understanding what are the pain points. I'm talking to the customer there. They're like, I like this, but this didn't come at this time, and I like this. I'm like, okay, now this is some analysis. Now I understand. And four people from the same country saying the same thing is something.
I am wait. I have so much to say. Usually in all the interviews, I try not to talk a lot, but this is like, so yeah, 'cause, I'll tell you something. Uh, None of it is for boasting. Everything is for making you understand something really great about you and Suta. So, Refine and Focus, my day job, is of innovation based marketing, which is all about customer and it's all about creating perfection that customers want. So last week I spoke on a panel in Portugal.
Wow.
It was about innovation and sustainability in aerospace. And what I talked about is the human factor in innovation. Like, that's the most important thing in innovation, and what you should do to create that culture of innovation and a perfect organization, which grows continuously and really grows. And when I was listening to you, I felt like I had this case study in front of me where you were checking all the boxes, where there are no vertical silos. People, mix around with each other, do each other's work. There is no fear based culture. There is a lot of forgiveness, lot of diversity. People are not brought from a single industry of fashion. So because there is so much diversity, there is a lot of creativity because everybody thinks differently. They don't think from a traditional fashion point of view. So I just wanted you to know, without knowing, you guys are a perfection. And actually, by doing things without knowing them, you're not, or doing things in spite of not having the perfection, you are actually de-risking the things. Because if you try something, if it works, you do it more. If it doesn't
Correct.
work, it's not at a huge scale, you can improve it. And you are improving continuously. So you are actually not risking stuff, you're de-risking it. And I want to, this is like, we can have a separate conversation next 6 months sometime in this, but I want to have this conversation as Suta, as a case study of how things can be done perfectly, and what is a perfection. And so I was trying to hold it back for a long time because it's your interview, but you guys are awesome. Like, when I talked to Sujata and Tanya also, I had this feeling of, oh my God, how these women do these things so perfectly. And I train huge, like Fortune 500 companies, like, your maybe size of your first company or even much
Oh
bigger
God.
companies. I train them how to be innovative. And you are this small and awesome organization and know the perfection. Makes me really proud of you. Thank you.
Thank you. That means a lot. But that's what that's what I like about startups, right? Like, you don't, they don't expect, or there's no framework, right? Like, there's no box that, hey, fit in, hey, do this, hey, do only this. You can flow, you can grow. It's just upwards and onwards. So that's what I like about startups. I know it's too early for me to even say that, but working for two startups made me realize that maybe this is where I belong. Because I love how dynamic things get. I love, when Sujata told me that Reshmi, I think we will have to chip in for customer service, I was like, wow, okay, I'm okay with it. I know there'll be additional work, I'll be logging out late, but that's how I like it. Like, for me, I keep telling this to Sujata Tanya that it's mundane if you keep telling me only do this, only do that, that's it. Like, I'm not a 9 to 5 job person at all. I would have taken banking, or I would have gone to a corporate, done my job, I don't know, ran here and there, spoken to five, six people, and gone home, right? And that's not me, but I love it when things get converted. I love it when things are up there, and it's not because it's a personal ego like I did it, but it's because the brand I worked for did it. Like when Sujata Tanya are up on Niti Aayog, which is a government of India uh, uh, a platform for women entrepreneurs. It's huge. When they were up there, I felt like it's me who's up there. It's us who's up there. There's no me. I mean, when I say me, I mean us, Suta. So it's a broader perspective, right? Like even if I tell Sujata Tanya, I push them saying, do this, let's do that, let's do this, and they also agree. Because I'm like, y'all have no choice but to agree. They will hate me if they hear this. But I tell them, let's do this, let's do that, let's explore. There are days when I give shittiest ideas and they go like, Reshmi, what is wrong with you? I'm like, okay, I'll come back. Today is not a good day. I will come back. And I get back with some other ideas which gets executed. Like this campaign, I saw so much love, and it was a teamwork. I mean, completely teamwork because I mean, there was zero penny spent. We didn't do any promotion. We didn't boost any post. It was all barter based.
Do you want to, because you brought up, I wanted to ask you a last question, but I really want to talk about the campaign. Can you, let me ask a question, then you can talk. So you did this Navratri campaign where you had 9 different people. I wouldn't say women, 9 different people clad in saris. And I found it exceptional. Can you tell everyone else what was so exceptional about it and why people like me absolutely loved it?
So I'll tell you the idea behind the campaign. So the campaign is called the Feminist Forces of Suta. Okay. Though the word feminist is quite misunderstood, but we meant it in the way we meant it. Uh, Having said that, the idea behind the campaign was celebrate. So it's Navratri nine. Navratri we celebrate 9 goddesses, right? So the idea here was approaching 9 people from 9 different backgrounds, having, I wouldn't say inspiring, but having a story that would make you think twice. Okay. And how the goddess, so how we also did was each day was dedicated to each person who represented a goddess and also the color of the day. So it was 3 things combined into one. Because every day in Navratri we have every color and the color represents the goddess. So also how they posed was in the form of a goddess. So in Bharatnatyam every goddess has every mudra, right? So they all posed in that mudra. We asked them to, of course. So coming to the crux of this campaign was breaking the stereotypes. Okay, and and sari being a gender fluid attire. We wanted to convey this message to people that sari is a gender fluid attire, and you don't need to be something, someone, or anything to wear a sari. Uh, how we did this was there were 9 beautiful people, out of which I'm highlighting a couple of them. One was a guy, an Odissi dancer. He's based out of Odisha as well, called Premanand. Uh, he was always bullied. He's a beautiful dancer, exceptional. Like if he dances, I mean, we all will fangirl for sure. Uh, but what he faced was his story is quite interesting. when he was young, because we are all wired to think that only girls can do Bharatnatyam and girls can do dance and everything. Men should do a little manly dance. So when he did ODC dancing, it was a little more feminine and things like that. His own relatives started bullying him, saying you are gay, you are this, you are that, that's why you're dancing. It affected him to an extent he left dancing, which he was pro at. His mom came to him and asked him what happened. He's not attending his classes. And he's learned professionally and he teaches now though. So he said, a lot of people called me gay when he was going for his classes also. His neighbors and everyone started passing on comments to him. Like, you're gay. What is this? What you're doing? How do you even dance? Are you gay? Do you like men? Oh my God, you're gay. It affected him and he's like, Mom, I don't want to hear this again. I'm deeply affected. His mom is like, you care about people or you care about me? I am asking you to go and I want you to learn and you go. There was no stopping for him from that day. He did that. And now he's a really good professional dancer. He's been traveled abroad for his shows, and he's still this humble guy. You know, he wore a sari, and I think our Instagram was filled. Smita's Instagram was filled with women fangirling him, saying, "How can a guy wear a sari and look so good?" Like so good. Like people otherwise with abs and everything, most women fall for. I will not say all, but most women. They like we like a little bit of abs and everything, but he was just good. People were asking us, and that guy, it came to a level where that guy um, called me saying, Reshmi is getting a little too much for me, the attention. I don't know how to react to this. Because lot many women are DMing me saying hey and all that. I have never faced this. Enjoy while it lasts. This is for you. So he's one. Another lady whom we had, she's a trans woman. Her name is, her name was Angad, and so her name is Trinetra. Um, what's so special about her other than being a trans woman is she's 23. She's a student at a medical school and she still chose to change her gender. She changed her documents. She knows it's a huge risk because your documents, your medical certificate from Mr. to Miss and everything. She did it. I think that takes a lot for a 23-year-old. While you're at, to one day you're a guy, you are going to your college and you're meeting your peers and your teachers. Next day you're going as a her and you're meeting the same set of people and asking them to see you as a her. It's a lot. So we celebrated these people on our platform. And there's another, I think it's your favorite. Her name is Akansha. She's a plus size woman. She's not a professional model or something. We had to make we all these. We had to convince her, to pose and everything. But she was like, this is not me. I'll wear a sari and I'll just send you a picture. We had to convince her. She is so adorable. I think she's my favorite too because she's so cute. I just sent her messages saying, "Oh my God, I am in love with you because you're so cute. You're looking so beautiful." She couldn't believe the kind of positive response she got for her pictures. Again, the point here being sari is gender fluid and size unbiased. Like she didn't have to be your 32 size to look good, right? She didn't have to be your, I don't know, 28 to wear that sari. She had to be what she is. And the sari still fit her and she was okay. The sari didn't ask her to be a particular size. Of course, the blouse did, unfortunately, but the sari didn't ask her to. And we got another lady called Gilu Joseph. She was on the cover of a South Indian known magazine because the picture of her was she breastfeeding a baby. So much people are shamed all over for breastfeeding. That was the that was the cover of the magazine. And she's like, I'm going to do this shoot. She's not a mother, but she did the shoot. That's something which was Huge. We got a lot of love for this campaign of ours. The message was conveyed rightly about sari being fluid and breaking the stereotypes. So all these people have really good stories about breaking stereotypes about example being only girls can wear a sari, only thin saris will look good on thin women only, and you have to wear sari in a typical way. Or whoever short, there were a lot of people who wore sari in a very different way, not because it's contemporary, because they were like, I'm very comfortable wearing the sari like this. I will wear it. I said, okay, your wish, you style it. We
I
received a lot of love for that. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to share my screen just because I want to, we are talking about it because both of us have seen it. A lot of people who will view this. If you listen to it, if you're listening to it on a podcast, I would request that go to our YouTube or something and see the visual, this visual, or, just go on Suta's Instagram. It is Suta_Bombay. Go to their Instagram and check it out. It is worth it. So for everyone else, I'm just going to share my screen. I have already pulled it up and I have the right campaign.
Yeah.
Let me go from the day one. So Navratri is Indian holiday, which goes on, a Hindu holiday, which goes on for 9 nights. It literally means 9 nights. And for each night there is a color and there is a mudra from a dance and there is an emotion, and Suta captured it in their Instagram campaign and everything else that Reshmi said.
Yeah.
Gender fluid, size fluid, feeling fluid. That's sari. And I'm just going to scroll slowly to see the gorgeousness of this campaign. And this is the Odissi dancer that Reshmi was mentioning. Let me just make it slightly bigger size. There it is. Oh my God. Beautiful, right?
Yeah.
And then this is my favorite. It's the
Yeah.
gorgeous, which I thought she's actually a model, but she is not, which is hard to believe because she's just so beautiful, so gorgeous, and just such a perfection. Oh my God. And where is the last one?
The Trinetra, the pink one. Yeah. She's the,
Trinetra. This is Trinetra.
yeah.
And this is Trinetra. Oh my God, such a courageous woman. Like, I can't even imagine what she must have gone through. I know the stories of a lot of transgender uh, people in the US where it is way more acceptable than in India. And I can't imagine what she must have gone through. Especially, you transition while you were like someone else would have, changed the college, changed the job or something like that.
Exactly.
There she is in another picture. Oh my God, so beautiful. And the third one you mentioned, a fourth one, sorry.
She's scroll. I'll show you. No,
Up or down?
no, more down. Oh, the blue one. She's also a classical. She's a professional Kathak dancer too. She left her corporate job to pursue Kathak professionally, and she teaches Kathak.
Oh my God. Wow.
And this is shot in Boston, by the way.
Oh, is it? Is she in Boston?
Yeah, she just moved for because of COVID. Her husband's there, so otherwise she's based out of India.
Wow, I'm going to be friends with her. And I was thinking of this we can talk about this
Yeah,
offline,
yeah,
but
yeah,
how we can give more exposure to dancers like her and him.
yeah.
Talk offline about that. I can get in touch
Um, sure.
in a second.
I think okay. If you scroll a little more, I think it's one of the second posts. This is the last day. No,
I'm going in the right direction, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, this girl, scroll. Yeah, that lady. This lady. Yeah, yes. She's the one.
Oh, so this one is the courageous one who breastfed.
Yeah.
She's not even a mother, but she modeled as a
Yeah.
breastfeeding model on a magazine cover. Wonderful. She looks very powerful. I mean,
Yeah.
even that posture is extremely powerful, and this one is very romantic. Thank you. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now, and all of you can go and check this out on Sutha. Yes. Last question. Reshmi, this is like one of the longest and most entertaining interviews that I have done. Like, I.
Thank you.
So, last question. Anyone who is, do you have any career advice? Like, you talked about a lot of things in bits and pieces. If there is one most important career advice that you want to give anyone, like, someone who is just beginning their career, say Reshmi at 21, what?
Um, do not compromise. Do not settle. If you feel it's not worth it, quit. It's okay to quit if you don't feel like it, and give things a chance. Because you don't want to be 35, 40 at that age when you're like at the peak of your career and think I should have. Don't have regrets. It's okay. I'm not asking you to switch jobs quite often. But if you don't feel like it, if you think your heart is not where it is right now, at this job, it's okay to switch. I know people will tell you your resume will look bad, your this will look bad, that will look bad, but it's okay. Because once you are at the place like where I am now, where your heart is, you will grow and that will count. Otherwise, you are just doing your 9 to 5 job for money. There's no passion, there's no heart. So don't do this. If you're someone who works with your heart, do what you feel like, and it's okay to switch. Because people have this notion I shouldn't switch. I should at least stay for 10 years here or 6 years here because then it'll look good on my resume. But what's the point if it's not coming out in your work, right? Your resume will have like, okay, at this firm 6 years, but when you're doing the job, it's as good as someone who started 2 years back. It will not pay you. So might as well switch. I
Thank
think
you
people will
for.
kill me for this. So
That was a great advice. Thank you for sharing that so candidly. And
thank you for having me here. I mean, it's been a great session because this is like my fourth interview, and I think this is one of the most candid I've been out there. I've shared stories which I think only my family knows.
that's a good compliment. And I can't wait to share this one with the world. And very grateful for your time and advice and stories. I love listening to stories. Oh my God. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been a great session.